Welcome to Okaloosa Eye on Crime.
And this month's show is going to focus on finding a person responsible for killing a pedestrian in a Walton County hit and run, as well as a missing person case out of the Niceville Police Department, and of course much more.
Now let's get started by putting the spotlight on that fatal hit and run. The Florida Highway Patrol is searching for 25-year-old Franklin Non Caballero Velasquez in connection with a deadly hit and run that took place back on May 5th at US 331 and Sparkleberry Lane in Walton County. The FHP says that a small dark red Honda sedan, said to be driven by Velasquez, was traveling north on 331. 25-year-old Jacob Dixon was standing inside the travel lane when the Honda entered the median, re-entered the road, and hit Dixon. Velasquez was seen leaving, and the FHP later found the Honda, but no sign of him. Dixon was pronounced dead at the scene. Velasquez is charged with leaving the scene of a crash involving a death, and anyone with information about his whereabouts can contact Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers anonymously.
And next up, take a look at this video. Okaloosa deputies are hoping somebody might be able to identify the couple that you see here stealing metal grates from a car wash, not something we see every day. And that was a car wash on Kelly Avenue over in Fort Walton Beach. It happened during the early morning hours on August 19th. Now, the pair actually parked a vehicle in the apartment complex across from the Rub-a-Dub car wash about 4 a.m. They walked over to the rear of the car wash, removed 2 large metal grates from the wash. The driver's side brake light of their vehicle appeared to be out. Now, one suspect appears to be a female wearing a black hoodie with the words "Not Today" across the front in white letters. And the male suspect appears to be tall, white male, light-colored hair. He was wearing a shirt with a skull and crossbones design on the back, and you can see that pretty clearly in the video. So anybody have any idea who this couple might be, give us a call. Remember, it's all 100% anonymous.
Now, the man in these photos is suspected of burglarizing a rental unit in Destin on July 14th, and the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office would like to speak with him. If you can identify him, of course, you can download the P3 Tips mobile app and submit a tip, or just call 850-863-TIPS. And as always, you can submit a web tip, emeraldcoastcrimestoppers.com.
And it's been 4 years since 19-year-old Jacob Irvin Lyon disappeared, and the Niceville Police Department is hoping someone out there can provide some information to help solve the case. Now, Lyon was last seen in Niceville in November of 2015. He is 5'8". He's about 135 pounds, short brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and shorts. He also has a scar on the left side of his chin. So if anybody has information, I know his family has really been pushing out information as well, trying to find Jacob. So anybody with information, of course, you can contact the Niceville Police Department or Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers.
Yeah, that's a tough situation right there. Next up, the Fort Walton Beach Police Department's hoping someone recognizes this car burglar. On August 1st, this man burglarized a vehicle at the rear of the Companion Animal Hospital on Eglin Parkway. He tried to break into a vehicle around 3 p.m. He was wearing a ball cap and a t-shirt with a big bold logo on the front. When the first attempt was unsuccessful, he returned to the parking lot about 30 minutes later and burglarized a second vehicle.
Now, it seems we never stop talking about what? Car burglaries. And that's because car burglars never seem to give up either. So we always say lock your car, take your keys, and hide your valuables. And a recent case shows why that last bit of advice is so important.
That's right, but we're happy to say that a smash and grab crime spree that went all across Okaloosa County ended with 5 arrests.
We're going to talk real briefly about an interagency bust that occurred yesterday in Navarre. We were contacted by Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office in the early morning hours of yesterday in reference to a bunch of vehicle burglaries that had occurred in Destin and Fort Walton in Okaloosa County. We went to an address on Prado Street in Navarre at their request, found the vehicle that was involved in the burglaries. Found in plain sight in the vehicle was a mask and some ammunition and some magazines from guns. So one thing leads to another. The Okaloosa deputies respond. We get a search warrant. Some of the people come out when we first knock on the door. Others stay inside. One person runs out of the residence and throws a bag over a fence where one of our deputies were standing. Inside that bag was 5 handguns that were stolen out of various cars in Okaloosa County. So we ended up arresting these 5 individuals. This one here has local charges with Santa Rosa, resisting arrest and also possession of stolen firearms and also possession of a firearm by a convicted Florida felon. And then the rest are going to have charges out of Okaloosa County. And here to speak to that is Major Eric Aiden with Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Sheriff, and thank you all for being here today. Sometime between the hours of 1:30 and 3:30 in the morning on the 19th, there were several smash and grabs. We're up to close to 70, 60-plus burglaries to vehicles with forced entry. They hit some of the areas in the unincorporated as well as the incorporated areas of Fort Walton Beach city limits. They started out all the way in our East District in Destin, Florida, hit some hotels, and they were looking at, after testimony from them, they acknowledged that they were looking for quick cash and guns. They didn't want anything traceable to them. So Ms. McCoy drove the other 4 defendants around, and as Sheriff Johnson mentioned, that we found them at an address here because of some information that was developed through the investigation that led us back to that address. And great teamwork with Fort Walton Beach Police Department, Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office, as well as Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office and the investigative team for both.
And also, we have the Chief of Police for Fort Walton Beach. I'll tell them about how many you had.
Thank you. As Major Eric Aiden said, and as the Sheriff said, this was a joint effort between the 3 agencies. If we didn't share the information, if we didn't come together and share resources, we'd not be able to share in the success that we had today. And really the community is the winner. By all 3 agencies working together and resolving this case, we had approximately 14 vehicle burglaries that took place in Fort Walton Beach, and we were able to clear all 14 of them from the hard work from the 3 agencies. And we'd like to thank the Sheriff for all his help. Thank you.
And again, a vigilant citizen who reported suspicious activity was a key piece of the success of this operation. And we want to say thanks for putting that mantra that we always talk about, see something, say something, into good action.
Absolutely. And now let's go down our first list of wanted individuals. And of course, they're wanted as of today's taping date, which is September 4th, 2019.
And before we start, remember, if you send information that leads to an arrest, you can earn a cash reward of up to $3,000 depending on the nature of the crime.
Absolutely. And first up is a new face to the show, and that's 31-year-old Richard Earl Larkins Jr. He's wanted for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, discharging a weapon in public, as well as non-payment of child support. He was last known to live up in Crestview.
And then right off the top, Charles James Rhodes has been located since the last show, so we can remove him.
The deputies are still searching for 22-year-old Christopher James Jones, and he's being sought for failure to appear for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, last known to live in Niceville.
And a man wanted by the Crestview PD in connection with a homicide, Tony Jerome Bird, is in custody, located since last show.
That's great news. Next up is 26-year-old Tyree Devynn McCorvey, and the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office is searching for him for violation of probation for burglary and grand theft. He was last known to live on Ridgewood Avenue in Mariester.
We really need to locate this next guy, Brandon Miles Devlin. He's wanted by the Walton County Sheriff's Office for lewd and lascivious behavior on a victim ages 12 to 16, last known to live in Defuniak Springs.
And Anthony Michael Frodely, who was last known to live in Fort Walton Beach, he's wanted for violation of probation for grand theft, trafficking in stolen property, as well as providing false information to a pawnbroker.
And this is William James Barcheski, wanted for VOP on battery on a law enforcement or a firefighter, last known to live on Schneider Drive in Fort Walton Beach area.
And some more good news, and that is that Lachey Monique Cooper has been located since our last show.
Still looking though for Richard Huey Dixon Jr., VOP for burglary, criminal mischief, and theft.
Next up is 48-year-old Lee Morse Grant. He's wanted for violation of probation for battery and child abuse, last known to live on Spencer Drive over in Fort Walton Beach.
And Shane Robert Finch is on the list because he didn't show up for charges of vehicle theft, possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of narcotics equipment.
And 34-year-old Joseph Lee Fairchild is still being sought for violation of probation for aggravated assault.
William Richard Fontenot wanted for burglary and criminal mischief, last known address 1st Avenue in Crestview.
And 33-year-old Tamothy LaCole Hankins, she's been on the show numerous months now. She's wanted for insurance fraud, uttering a forged instrument, and grand theft, last known to live in Laurel Hill, although they do believe she may be in Alabama somewhere.
Okay, the Walton County Sheriff's Office is trying to track down Clifton Antonio Patrick. Patrick's wanted for trafficking in methamphetamine.
Kiasha Latrell Irby, she's wanted for violation of probation for 2 counts of grand theft.
Up next, this video captures some pretty courageous actions by 2 Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office supervisors.
Sure does. Now, they ignored heat, mosquitoes, and the potential for snake and alligator encounters to trek into a local swamp and rescue a person in trouble.
right, so I took my boat out, came over there in my boat, kept hearing somebody yelling for help, like, and it sounded like he was in a lot of pain, and I couldn't get back there.
In this little swampy area?
Right around that point right there.
So they're saying they're in that little swampy marsh area.
You hear him again? You guys can borrow these kayaks if you want. I know you guys probably don't want to get in there with all that, but you guys can borrow these if you want.
Hey, we're just going to jump on these kayaks and pass. We're just going to step out and get wet. I mean, somebody's going to get wet. There just ain't no two ways about it.
We got 2 more of the medics coming too?
Yeah, we got, so he said it's only like 6 inches of water, super shallow. Yeah. He couldn't see the guy, but he could hear the guy calling for help, see the bushes wrestling, and the guy's like, help me, I've been shot.
It's every now and then. I think it's a female yelling for help.
Can you yell to me? Sheriff's office! Deep in that.
He's right up here.
Sheriff's office! Yell to me!
Y'all are going to be dragging each other.
There's just a little thing.
You gonna cut that, or you gonna be connected?
Talk to us! Alright, are you okay?
We're gonna just have to get wet. Are you okay, buddy? Talk to me, what's wrong? Watch out for water moccasins, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, bud, where are you?
Keep talking to us, bud.
Are you hurt? Come to us.
No, nobody thinks you're crazy, bud. Come here. I'm going last.
You got less lethal? Come on up here to me, it's solid ground.
Come here, bud. Come talk to us. Sheriff's office. We're not here to hurt you. We're here to help you.
Come on, man, keep coming to us. We're in Niceville. Are you hurt, sir? Okay, well keep coming to us. We'll try to get you some help. If it's a snake bite.
We'll get you some, bud. Just come to us. We'll get you some. We got help.
Are you by yourself in here? Okay, come on. Keep coming to us.
It's like 6 or 7 hours.
Come on.
My wife said I need to go to the mental hospital last night. Oh, wow.
You okay,
You're
bud?
okay. There you go. Come on. No injuries observed. Complaining of a possible snake bite. Come on. We're going to
We
get you
can
out
get
of
you
here.
out of here, bud, if you come on now. Some kayaks out here you need to follow us out to, okay?
Okay. All right, come on, bud.
I got you.
We got contact. Come on.
Well, do you see this trail? I need you to follow it, okay? We're going to get you some help. You got to help us help you. Follow this trail, bud.
Hang on 1 second. Turn your radio down.
Yep.
63 to 197.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Father. Oh, my God. Oh, boy.
All right, keep working your way on. Let's get out of here.
Giving people like you guys, and anyone that's their hard job, they're never going to get credit.
Hang on. Stay right here, bud.
Okay?
Let him get these kayaks set up for you.
Oh, my God. At least some of you got a little water.
We're going to get you some.
We got some on the boat. We got a big boat out here waiting for us.
Oh, God.
You're going to get on this green kayak here.
I got you. I know you're wore out. You have to step down in the water
Be careful.
and then get into the kayak. It's not deep.
There you go. Just have a seat.
Oh, my
like that,
God.
Okay, just have a seat.
Sit right there.
You guys ever get a credit? My brother and my uncle did that work. Y'all.
Hold that right there.
Oh, God.
Hold that.
Father, thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
And what a great job by Sergeant Brandon Finley and Corporal Tyler Williamson to get that gentleman out of the swamp safely.
Yep, it's actually a story that's attracted some national attention. Well, they tell me that after a quick uniform change, the two of them were right back on duty. And we also want to say thanks again to Russell Johnson. Johnson's the person who provided the kayaks needed to get the job done, so thanks to him.
Now it's time for our second round of Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers Wanted Fugitives, and we're going to start off with 33-year-old Frances Kelly Campbell. She's wanted for violation of probation for theft, as well as failure to appear for leaving the scene of an accident, and finally driving while license suspended or revoked.
Clayton Copeland's wanted for VOP for providing false information to a pawnbroker and for grand theft of a motor vehicle.
55-year-old Craig Mitchell Mayfield is being sought for violation of probation for grand theft of a motor vehicle, last known to live on Troy Street over in Fort Walton Beach.
Derrell Williams still out there, wanted by the Walton County Sheriff's Office for lewd and lascivious behavior.
And Okaloosa County deputies are searching for 36-year-old Corretta James, and she's wanted for failure to appear for grand theft as well as fraud.
And take a look at James Dexter Jackson. Walton County is looking for him on charges of burglary, grand theft, and grand theft of a motor vehicle, last known to live in Freeport.
Walton County deputies are also searching for Devynn Jordan. He's being sought for felony violation of probation, last known to live in Defuniak Springs.
And Richard Francis Hawthorne is wanted for multiple felony warrants for charges that include theft, burglary, and fraud.
This next gentleman's wanted for violation of probation on the original charge of grand theft of a firearm, and that is 27-year-old Andrew Allen Costlow.
Enjoli Johnson is wanted for aggravated battery.
And 27-year-old Reginald Muse, he's being sought for violation of probation for grand theft, burglary, as well as aggravated stalking.
And there's Dennis Frederick Taylor Jr., wanted for failure to appear for fraud, providing false statements to obtain unemployment compensation.
And we're still looking for 42-year-old William Bryan Harnish. He's wanted for violation of probation for possession of a controlled substance as well as possession of drug paraphernalia.
Also contact us if you know where to find Lucas Lorenzo Williams. Williams is wanted for armed robbery that took place back on October 27, 2016 in Devuniak Springs.
34-year-old Timothy James Howard, his last known address was on Bearhead Road up in Defuniak Springs. He's being sought for larceny, resisting an officer in the recovery of stolen property, as well as failure to appear for fraud.
And last on this list, but no stranger to the show, is George Emmerich II. He's wanted by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office for violation of probation for a charge of domestic violence strangulation, as well as a charge of aggravated battery.
And we have a very special guest joining us today, and that is Catherine Card. She is actually the Emerald Coast Crime Stoppers chairperson, but she's also the public information officer for the city of Destin. And we wanted to help the city get some information out about an ongoing issue on our area beaches, which is trash.
Trash. Yeah, it's been something. I really appreciate you having me on. It's like old times.
It is.
So I enjoy being here, and I really, really appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity. But we do. I mean, the 100 days of summer are over now. So we can kind of take a step back from that, but there are some things that we really wanted to evaluate, and a lot of it has to do with trash on our beaches. Between city staff and county staff, they're out there like 6 a.m. in the morning, and just the amount of trash that they've been pulling off their beach, which there's not even enough manpower to bring all that trash off the beach to make sure that it's off. Our beaches are pristine and clean before our beachgoers get out there. So, but a lot of things that we're seeing, it's also not only just the trash receptacles of things being laid out around it, but it's beach chairs and it's tents and things that are broken where they're just simply just being laid out, like the boogie boards, laid out on the beach for, obviously somebody else has got to come by and pick that up. And our biggest program that we have that we really want to push, or one of our biggest programs, is our Leave No Trace program. We've been pretty instrumental pushing that on social media, on our Facebook. I think our residents here are getting it. But again, we're really wanting to reach our visitors because our beaches are our brand. This is why people come here.
Yeah, it's paradise. And of course, we have so many visitors come in every single year. And you were saying, they're leaving the things that they buy here to take with them to the beach, and they're kind of just discarding them on the beach because they don't want to have to take them back to wherever they came from.
Right,
so.
and we get that, and I think that there are things that we're looking at that are possibilities that may help with taking something that's negative and turning it into a positive, and maybe working with like a nonprofit, maybe some of these items that are still in good condition, that they could possibly be resold, where profits can go to help a nonprofit organization. So those are the things that we are looking at. But again, we really want to encourage that we want to take care of our home. This is our home. We want other people who come to visit take care of our home, and then just to be cognizant of that, and even if it's something that you see, pick it up.
Help us out, yeah.
Help us out.
out.
I mean, this is a team effort. We've all got to do it. The city's certainly doing their part. The county is doing theirs. We're going to work together on some messaging. But we really wanted just to get everybody focused in that this is something that we're seeing, and we all need to be a part of cleaning up our beaches.
Absolutely, and thank you, Kathy, for joining us. Of course,
I
everybody
appreciate
out
it.
there, let's remember we live in paradise, and let's help each other out, and let's clean up those beaches, not only for locals here, but for the tourists that come year round, actually.
Absolutely.
Around here. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, our next issue deals with a crackdown by the Coast Guard, the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office, and Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. The agencies joined together recently to clear out more than 30 illegal charters operating in local waterways. Now, they dubbed it Operation Safe Pass.
We found that within our area of responsibility, there were a lot of illegal operations. We call them illegal charters or illegal passenger vessels. These illegal charters and illegal passenger vessels, they jeopardize the safety of all of those passengers who go on board their vessels. These illegal charters and illegal passenger vessels, they do not have proper credentialing, they do not have proper licensing, and they do not have the proper safety equipment on board the vessel. They will operate in conditions that are unsafe, and for this reason, we've created Operation Safe Pass, meaning safe passenger, but we shortened it for Safe Pass. We've come together here with not only Station Destin, and I have Master Chief Solsky right behind me here. He is the commanding officer of Station Destin. And Station Destin works with our federal, state, and local partners and our city partners as well. And I have them here as well. We have Florida Fish and Wildlife, we have Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department, and then we have the City of Destin as well. We all work together on this operation. We want the people that come here, tourists that come here within Destin, to be safe. And what we've done is we've trained together for this operation. We go out on boardings together. We do joint boardings together. And we consider this, I consider this, the model for federal, state, local, city coordination, because we work so well together. So far for Operation Safe Pass, we have discovered 30 illegal operators. And this is just within a short time period of 3.5 months. So I took over as sector commander May 3rd, and within that time, it amazes me that we've had 30 illegal operators that have been caught to date. At this point, I would like to hand it over to Master Chief Solsky to talk about some of the dangers that these illegal operators pose to these paying passengers on board. And I would like to mention that these passengers, what they need to look for as well on these illegal, or when they're actually chartering a vessel or a boat, going on board and paying their money, they need to look for and make sure that there's a licensed mariner on board. They need to make sure that there's proper safety equipment on board. They need to make sure that there is a Coast Guard sticker that shows that they've been examined on board a vessel before they even get on a vessel or pay to get on that vessel. And then here's a huge red flag that if that operator asks them to deceive any law enforcement officers or lie to them, then they will be held accountable as well. That's one thing I want to mention. It's not only for the safe operation of the vessel, it's for lives are at stake here. And there have been multiple deaths within the state of Florida on these illegal charter vessels. And that's why we felt the need to start this operation, come together with our partners, and mitigate it, stop it.
And again, this is an important safety issue since operators of these illegal charters typically do not follow the safety regulations and or have the proper credentials, and that potentially puts lives at risk.
Yeah, and what a great collaborative effort there by, not only the Sheriff's Office and the Coast Guard, City of Destin, but, Florida.
Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, just great teamwork there. And now wrapping up this edition of Okaloosa Eye on Crime, here's our final look at some of the people local law enforcement wants to catch up with. And first up, this one's been on here a while, and we'd really love to get some information that puts him behind bars. That's 35-year-old Alexis Mondragon. He's being sought by the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office for sexual battery, sex offense against a child, and lewd and lascivious molestation.
And Walton County is still trying to track down Brittney Sanders. Sanders wanted for VOP on charges of creating, using, or possessing counterfeit credit cards with intent to use that counterfeit information.
26-year-old Daniel Lewis Davis, and he's being sought for violation of probation for burglary.
Roderick James Rutterson Jr. is wanted for possession of synthetic narcotics within 1,000 feet of a school and failure to appear for driving with a license that had been suspended or revoked. Last known address was Mooney Road in Fort Walton Beach.
Samuel Edward Thomas III is wanted for violation of probation on the original charges of providing false information to a pawnbroker, false imprisonment, as well as grand theft.
Contact